Hello and welcome to the My Home, My Sale Real Estate Podcast. Today we're going to talk about real estate closings. Understanding real estate closings, a guide for home buyers and sellers. Closing is the pivotal moment in a real estate journey, when the keys to your home finally become yours. It's the culmination of countless steps, paperwork, and negotiations. But what does closing actually mean? Let's break it down in simple terms so that whether you're a first-time home buyer or seller, you'll be well prepared for this significant milestone. What is closing? Closing is also known as settlement. It's the official process where ownership of a property is transferred from the seller to the buyer. It's the point where all the legal and financial loose ends are tied up and the property officially changes hands. Getting the keys and moving in. Yes, closing is when you get the keys to your new home. Once all the necessary paperwork is signed and the funds have been transferred, you'll be handed the keys that unlock the door to your new life. What happens at closing? At closing, both the buyer and seller, along with their respective real estate agents, and often a closing agent or attorney, gather to finalize the transaction. This is where you'll sign a plethora of documents, including the mortgage, title transfer, and other legal papers. Funds and ownership exchange. During closing, the buyer pays the remaining purchase price and the seller receives their money. The funds are usually held in an escrow account and are released once all conditions are met. The homebuyer officially becomes the new homeowner and the seller's ownership comes to an end. Where does the closing take place? Closing typically takes place at a title company, attorney's office, or a designated closing office. Some states have notaries who can facilitate the closing process as well. Don't worry, your real estate agent or closing agent will guide you to the right place. Scheduling and duration. The closing date is usually agreed upon in the purchase contract. Your real estate agent, the lender, or the closing agent will coordinate the scheduling to ensure everyone can attend. The closing process itself can take up to a couple hours. Who attends the closing? The buyers, sellers, their respective real estate agents, and often a closing agent or attorney are present at the closing. The closing agent oversees the process and ensures that all documents are signed correctly. What are some potential hiccups that can delay a closing? Funds don't show up. One of the most dreaded scenarios is when funds from the buyer don't arrive on time. This can be due to a variety of reasons, like bank delays or wire transfer glitches. This delay can cause a domino effect, postponing the whole closing process. Paperwork errors. With numerous documents to sign, errors can occur. Signatures might be missed or documents might be inaccurately filled out. Any errors can lead to further delays as corrections are made. Title issues. Discovering unexpected title issues like unpaid liens or boundary disputes can stall the closing process. These issues need to be resolved before ownership can be transferred. Loan delays and approval delays. For transactions involving mortgage loans, any hiccups in loan approval, like a sudden change in credit score or financial status, can cause delays. Appraisal gaps. In cases where the property's appraised value falls short of the agreed upon price, the buyers might need to come up with additional funds to negotiate with the seller. The seller's not ready. On the flip side, if the seller hasn't moved out as planned or hasn't fulfilled their obligations, closing can be postponed. What's the difference between a cash buyer and a mortgage buyer? A closing involves a cash buyer typically involves fewer steps and a quicker process. Since there's no lender involved, the buyer's funds are readily available, reducing the risk of financing related delays. Mortgage buyers, on the other hand, undergo more thorough scrutiny and require loan approval, which can extend the timeline. To ensure a smooth closing, it's critical to communicate openly with all parties involved, the buyer, seller, agents, lenders, and attorneys. Address any potential issues up front and double check all paperwork for accuracy. Having an experienced real estate agent and possibly a real estate attorney on your side can provide valuable guidance. In conclusion, while real estate closings are typically celebrated events, it's wise to be prepared for potential hurdles. By staying informed, communicating effectively, and being proactive, you can navigate these challenges and ensure that the keys to your new property are handed over smoothly. Remember, patience and collaboration are key to turning potential hiccups into mere bumps in the road on your path to home ownership or a successful property sale. This podcast was brought to you by My Home, My Sale, powered by Be Nice Media.